Hello and welcome to episode 61 of the CFCTALK podcast. I'm joined by my usual co-host tonight, Amart, and we've gone back to our audio format just for tonight because I couldn't stop sneezing when we tried to do our video. Sorry, that sounds silly, but it's true. It's, hay fever season around in the UK, and my hay fever tablets aren't particularly strong, so I need to get some stronger ones. But until then, we'll probably, hopefully in our next pod, we'll be back to video ones. But for our audio one, it's probably best that it disguises how bored we were with this game because, at the end of the day, this game against Brighton, a 0-0 draw, it wasn't really ever about Brighton. It was about all the stuff going on in the background in the European Super League and whether this game actually had any meaning. It seemed like from 72 hours before the game, 48 hours before the game with Tuchel's press conference that the game didn't really have any meaning. And then in the hours before kickoff, when Chelsea fans went to Stamford Bridge and protested, and eventually the news came out that Roman Abramovich was pulling the plug, and then this seemed like this game had meaning again. And then, Amart, we were treated to a very dull, not many chances, 0-0 draw. So what a great evening, wasn't it?
We did a typical Chelsea thing, and then we became Charity FC once again. And we decided to give Brighton their first ever point gained at Stamford Bridge. So that's cheers to us. And then in the end we all blamed it on the ESL, so we got on with our lives. It was like, aside that, it was a very boring game, very, very boring game, and I was very, very disappointed with how everything went about because before like you said, before the game even started, like before the news about Chelsea pulling out of the ESL, we all didn't really care much about what will happen in the game. We are Chelsea fans and we'll prefer a win, but we weren't really much concerned about Brighton. We weren't really much concerned about the game itself because the things surrounding the game were bigger than the game itself. So we weren't focused on it. But like you said, everything turned out great, and then Chelsea pulled out, other teams pulled out, and then we entered the game with some newfound hope, like some happiness. But the team just did the Chelsea stuff, and then the usual Chelsea stuff whenever we expect them to really, really perform and capitalize on the fact that Liverpool lost. Liverpool dropped points. West Ham lost, they dropped points. Tottenham also dropped points. And we still didn't capitalize on it. So, it wasn't the best, and plus a boring game as well. So,
agreed. It was quite an interesting lineup. To be fair, I didn't expect Kepa to start. He kept a clean sheet against City, but didn't really have too much to do against them. And it was also a surprise to see Mount in midfield with Jorginho. I do kind of feel like in this game we missed a bit of drive, and we missed a bit of perhaps Kovacic, Kovacic or Kante in the game, but I think Kante was probably rested for the huge game against West Ham this weekend, and also maybe for the Champions League next week. But it was just, getting into this game, I do think we were a bit lucky, to be honest, to come away with the draw. Brighton definitely had a couple of chances. Kepa made a couple of saves, but there were some mistakes from in front of him that really put us at a goal risk when I think, it was Zuma and both Jorginho trying to dribble out of possession or trying to dribble out and gave the ball away, got tackled, and Brighton came really close twice. Danny Welbeck hit the post with a fantastic shot from outside the box, and also I think it was Trossard, who also had a left-footed shot. Yeah, but we really and compare their chances against ours, and we don't mark up favourably. We definitely, I think we were quite lucky to actually draw in this game, but thankfully it was alright in the end. A bit stressful.
It's true we got a point out of it, but it was still a very, very disappointing result. But like you said, I think Tuchel even said it in the post-match interview. I think he was saying something about he tried something new, it didn't work, and I think that was his exact words. He tried something new, it didn't work, and he said we didn't deserve to win the game today. We didn't play well and all of that. I think it was later on too. He said in the press he said to the press in the press conference that probably the ESL staff also got into the heads of the players because they were all talking about the ESL on the bus. They were sitting in the bus for 45 minutes, thanks to the amazing fans as well. And then he said everything was just ESL. He said he even tried to get the team back into the game during the half time, because the halftime they said the players weren't even talking about the game. They were talking about what was happening around the ESL. So it just took so much of the game. But like we said, regardless of the ESL, regardless of whatever happened outside the game itself, we should have won that game. And you were right. They went close twice, and man, like, well, it was very, very nervy there. I think Welbeck hit the post after Jorginho's mistake, and then, like you said, Trossard also. I don't know that I think he hit it wide or something. I don't know that Kepa saved. I'm not sure that Kepa made a save after Trossard's shot, but that's also from Zuma's mistake. So, I mean, we're really average or subpar in the game.
Yeah, agreed. We really were. We just didn't get the ball. We didn't move the ball fast enough. And perhaps you could, I mean, as well as being tired from the City game, you could say that, yeah, like when the past 24, 40, when the past couple of days have all been focused on the future of players, the future of the club, whether players will be able to compete in internationals, what the club will be doing when you've worked so hard to get to a level in the Champions League, and then for that to be taken away or to be on the road to being taken away from you. I can't imagine it's the most calming of experiences, and it's definitely going to affect performances. So yeah, I don't really have any problem with the players for this one. I expect that all of them will be like fully up for the West Ham game, because it's just a huge game at the end of the day, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we had a couple of chances. I mean, Havertz didn't have his best game, but to be fair, neither of the front or any of them really had a particularly great game. I mean, Pulisic looked kind of sharp with a couple of dribbles, but yeah, only real chances Zuma did a speculative long. He wanted to kind of carry on his legacy of turning into Ronaldo every once a season, and this time with a ridiculous long shot, which didn't really work out. And then Havertz also had a pretty decent chance, which he put straight at the keeper after, I think it was deflected. I can't remember exactly. I think someone shot and then it was deflected to Havertz, or it may have been a cross.
I think it was Pulisic tried to shoot, and it deflected off a defender and fell into the path of Havertz, and he hit it straight to the keeper.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And then Giroud came on, didn't really have too much of an effect. He had one chance with his left foot that he put to the side of the goal, and yeah, just nowhere near enough creativity in this team, right, or in that team performance. And yeah, maybe you can put it down to just a decrease in energy levels, decrease in what's going on in the players' heads. Yeah. But also, I think, maybe we were a bit forced because of perhaps it would have been a nice game to see Billy Gilmour in, because, I mean, Mount, he was put in with Jorginho today and he was all right. I don't think he did particularly anything wrong at all, but I do think it would have been nicer to see Jorginho and Gilmour. But I think maybe he's keeping an eye on the game at the weekend and the games after, where he really needs N'Golo Kante back. He really needs Kovacic back. Yeah. And yeah, Mount's undroppable at the moment. So
yeah, I think that was what he was talking about when he said he made a mistake, because he tried something new and it didn't work. So I think he was talking about the fact that he put Mount in the pivot instead of Gilmour or Kante. But I understand if he doesn't play Kante, because we all don't want to use Kante in too many games, and then he'll get injured, because he's also coming back from a little knock, and then Kovacic is also currently injured. So I mean, that was the best option for him, because I don't think he really rates. Not that he really rates Billy Gilmour, but I think he made a comment, like I've said this before, but he made a comment earlier in his appointment that Billy Gilmore needs to improve his physique. He needs to bulk up to be able to play in that position. So probably he sees him a little bit smallish, or he sees him a little bit immature to play a position like that. But like you said, I also was expecting him to make changes very, very early and probably bring Gilmore in, take Ziyech out, who I thought had a very, very bad game yesterday. He was giving away he was trying certain flicks and passes that weren't really working for him at all. There were sometimes he tried, I think 3 times, to feed either Havertz or Pulisic in to score goals, but he misplaced the passes. Sometimes couldn't get through the defense, and I think he should have come off much earlier. Probably during the halftime, should have been off. Mount should have been moved forward with Pulisic and Havertz, and then Gilmore will come in to come and replace him. So I don't know. It was a mistake on Tuchel's part. He admitted it, but luckily we didn't really suffer from it. We only got 1 point instead of the full 3 points. So he got off the hook this time.
Yeah, a loss would have been, I think, a pretty catastrophic result for us, considering that we at least managed to, with the draw, we managed to remain within the top 4, I think, on goal difference ahead of West Ham, which isn't the worst thing. I mean, actually, we have an 8 higher goal difference than West Ham, so but we're on the same number of points, which really makes the game at the weekend even huger for us. But yeah, a draw, it's not the worst result. I mean, yeah, it would have been, I mean, a lot of people were crying out for Mount to be played in midfield, but I think it's just, it's going to be a position he's going to get used to over time. And I think we could have used his sharpness a little bit further ahead. And it's just a shame that Kovacic is out injured at the moment. And Jorginho and Gilmore, whilst they're not the same player, their strengths are supposedly similar.
Yeah. I think
we kind of miss Kante and Kovacic today.
Sorry, I think Mount made a very, very good run. I think the second half from the midfield into the penalty box, and I think he tried to feed Pulisic, but unfortunately the defender took it off him. Like, I think that was him trying to tell Tuchel to push me forward. I don't like my position. Put me forward. And I also noticed something yesterday. I don't know whether you noticed it too. But Rudiger was playing at the left wing a lot. He was playing at the left wing back row a lot. I was seeing him there a lot in the first half. The second half, not so much, but he was trying to create runs into the box. He was trying to cross the ball and stuff like that. I was like, wait, is Zuma vying for another position in the team, or he's tired of being a boring old defender? He wants to be going forward more.
Yeah, it's nice to spot that, because that was really true in the first half. I think maybe it's because in terms of the marking, Brighton didn't put too much pressure on the left and right centre backs, and like in terms of dribblers in our team, people who are going to drive the ball, none of the midfielders, I mean, Jorginho and Mount aren't really that. They don't drive the ball through midfield, and neither is really Alonso Reece James, yes, to some extent, but not really. So I think we did need Rudiger to do that. And it was also interesting to see how Zuma played in the middle of the 3 instead of Christensen. Christensen played at right centre-back for the first time, I think, this season, and Aspi completely dropped. Yeah, it was weird. But yeah, we definitely saw a lot of Rudiger getting him forward. Christensen, for the first time, I think I've seen him in months and months, being anywhere near the final third of Brighton, particularly towards the end of the game. But yeah, we just needed more urgency, I think. I mean, it was good to see Rudiger getting up and trying to make something happen with his runs, we're driving runs with the ball, but we just didn't see enough urgency in this team. And I mean, I guess it was nice to see Chohan got his rest at least for the West Ham game, but I'm hoping for West Ham, we at least we can see Mount move back forward and getting Kante, but
yeah,
still.
And I think Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think the next game we should be seeing Mount moved forward, and then I'm sure, I'm definitely sure Kante will play in the next game. I don't know. I don't know with Kovacic whether he's recovered or he was rested, or I don't know. But I think seeing Kante next time would will make more fans like more confident about the game. But also I want to also like mention the performances of Callum and Werner when they came on. I think they added more to the game in our attack. Our attack was very, very boring the first half and some parts of the second half. But I think they were adding more to it. And even Brighton had a red card due to a chance that we had, and I think in the 93rd minute or so. I think that probably would have ended up being a goal, but the Brighton player took one for the team and he got the red card. So, I mean, the red card came late. Probably if it had come earlier in the game, who knows? We would have gotten a goal or we would have won or something. But it came late, and I think for me, if I was a Brighton player, if I was a Brighton fan, I'll be praising what he did, because what he did was some really, really clutch defending. Like, he took him out. He was like, okay, yeah, the time is almost done. Let me take him out and just preserve this point, and then that's it. Because Brighton they've never got any points at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League ever, and so this is their first point that they've gotten. So he's a hero. He needs a statue at Brighton for taking Callum out and getting them a first point at Stamford Bridge. So, yeah.
Yeah, you'd applaud it if it was us against a team. If it was Bayern Munich to save a draw to get us through to the next stage of the Champions League. If Christensen decides to take one for the team, or Zuma or Rudiger or Aspi, you'd respect that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's the kind of thing that Ramos and Pepe used to do for Real Madrid back then. They used to do that kind of stuff a lot. Like, they used to take one for the team a lot. They used to make some outrageous tackles during the last minutes of games just to get a point. And I think Ramos has done that a lot and won many points for Real Madrid that way. So, I mean, it's something that you love. I think that's one of the reasons why Real Madrid fans love Ramos a lot. And I think as a fan, if you see that, as like opposition fan, we all hated seeing that. And I'm sure if fans were in the stadium, they'll be calling him names and stuff like that. But if you're a fan of Brighton, you'll be absolutely happy that he did that. And yeah, but I think that was a very good, and the pass that Reece gave to him to set him off on that run, I mean, it was brilliant. Like, I didn't even think it would reach Callum, but he did. The brilliant pass, he passed it to Callum, and then Callum was on his way. I think either Giroud or Werner was free, and I think one of them might have scored. I don't know about Werner. He hasn't scored in a very long time, but one of them might have scored, but the defender just took him out, and then that was that.
Yeah, that was a shame in the end. I mean, it was pretty much the most offensive subs Tuchel could have made in bringing on two strikers and a winger. But I think you really now start to question why Tammy doesn't even get a chance when, it's when none of our strikers are getting goals in the Premier League. So it's frustrating to see, but I think that ship's kind of sailed probably a bit now, and it's just there's no trust basically between two clubs.
It's weird. Anytime I try to raise Tammy amongst Chelsea fans or on Twitter, the response I get is Tuchel doesn't rate him, so we should stop talking about him and stuff like that. But I remember a certain Callum Hudson-Odoi was also left out, and Tomori also left out of teams, and then people were blaming the manager and saying the manager didn't know what he was doing. He should be playing these players. Even though we were winning those games, we were still complaining and saying the manager didn't know what he was doing. But all of a sudden, because it's Tammy, people are like people already wanted him to be left out. So now Tuchel doesn't use him. Some fans are happy about it. So anytime I raise it up, I get opposition. So I don't even know what to say about it anymore. But it looks like Tammy might leave. So he doesn't. Tuchel doesn't want to use him, and then he doesn't even put him in the starting line. He doesn't put him in the team at all. So yesterday he wasn't part of the players that faced the trauma yesterday of seeing the fans denying them entry into Stamford Bridge. He was at home, probably crossed his leg with some wine in his hand, just watching it and clapping for the Chelsea fans. So yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's sad for me, like especially the way this guy. If you watch any of his interviews, especially the time that him and Tomori were coming up and they were scoring, they were doing well for Chelsea. I watched their interviews and they were very happy about it. They said that's their dream. They've always been dreaming about it when they were in the academy, and then fortunately they got a chance to play, and now it looks like both of them will be out of the team very, very soon. So I mean, it's a sad story, but I mean, I wish him well. I would prefer see him play regularly than being left out of the team time in and time out. Like we want to be seeing him play, and I know that wherever he goes, he's going to succeed. We all said that about Tomori, and Tomori is succeeding, and AC Milan are considering signing him on a permanent contract. So when Tammy goes, he'll definitely succeed.
Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty really interested to see if he does go to Leicester or West Ham, even to see how he would do with a run of game time. But I do think if he does go, we absolutely have to. We must put in a buyback clause, because he can't be allowed to he can't be another one to get out, to be the one that. Sorry, he can't be allowed to join a list of many players who have left Chelsea and flourished. So we absolutely have to have a buyback clause, and maybe, I mean, particularly if we're negotiating with West Ham, then I think considering how much money they demand for Rice, I think we can equally demand an obscene amount of money and make them pay over the top for Tammy, just as they did for Rice, and just as Leicester City did for Chilwell before they failed to get into the Champions League. So I'm thinking 70-80 million, I think is pretty fair. Yeah, considering 100 million for Rice is fair, according to them. So I think Tammy for 80 is.
Yeah, it is.
It's fair.
We could round it up and make it 100 as well.
Yeah. We like nice numbers here at CFC Talk at Football Club. We like nice numbers. It's 10 million, or otherwise, no, it's got to be 100. Not anything in between. No, it's just no. It's got to be one of the two.
No, there's no room for negotiations.
Yeah, we're very hard. Mohammad knows all about tough negotiations. Oh, that's a story for another time, I think. But yeah, getting on to just as we conclude our Tuchel criticisms, but we got to say he definitely got it wrong yesterday, and again, he didn't have much choice in that with the midfield. He had Kovacic and Kante out, and he just maybe doesn't trust Gilmore enough. But yeah, overall, Alonso wasn't particularly amazing either instead of Chilwell. And just not enough urgency in the team. But I think if we go into West Ham and then we put in that performance, then I think we can all be very worried. We have the right to be extremely worried about whether we're actually going to finish in the top four. But if we don't, and if Tuchel gets the reaction out of them, which I hope he does, then we can kind of keep getting into this end of the season strong, because bar this Brighton result, we've had a string of really great victories. I mean, we just beat Man City in the cup.
Yeah,
we're through to the semi-final of the Champions League. We have that huge game. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think the Real Madrid game has only gotten bigger over the past 24 to 48 hours. I think we're all going to be trying to beat this team presided by the man who tried to ruin football. So, and that only is in addition to Kovacic coming back, Courtois coming back, Hazard. To be fair, Hazard might not be playing in the games. I hope he does get at least minutes at Stamford Bridge in a Real Madrid shirt. But there's just so many. It all screams remontada. So yes, I hope it's a lot to look forward to despite this crappy result. But I think we're going to I can't really think of anything else to say about the Brighton game, but I was about to kind of make a less than smooth transition into the ESL. But
Yeah, go for it.
anything else to add?
No,
Okay, right.
there's nothing else to add.
Yeah. So yes. Oh man, the past 48 hours, the past 72 hours have been
Crazy.
never crazy. Never would I have thought in my lifetime I would have seen protests at Stamford Bridge. Never. I've never seen that before. And we did it. And I got to say, I'm so proud of all Chelsea fans, not just of the ones who protested there, but to be fair, all football fans in general who have voiced their concerns. And at the end of the day, every single person has contributed to this feeling of fans that it just isn't a good thing. So, yeah, it's great to see that really forced a change of heart of all of the big English clubs, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're right. Like, as a Chelsea fan, seeing that, like, no matter where you are in the world, you'll be proud of the fans. Like, there was a sign that I saw that made me laugh a lot. Like, the sign, I think it was, the description was, we want to continue playing on a cold night at Stoke. And I was like, yeah, we do. And we want to be battered 1-0 every time when we go to Stoke. so yeah, like it was great. It was great. And I even felt sorry for Peter Cech. He was sent out to come and talk to the fans, and I know some of them were being respectful, but I heard some people at the back also trying to insult him and insult the club and stuff like that. So it made me feel bad for him. But like it had to be done. Like it had to be done. There's no way that this, like, the fans are going to allow this to happen. And I'm saying allow this to happen, but the fans are the ones that will purchase whatever it is that they are offering to us. They are doing it for. They're doing it to come and sell to us. They are creating whatever they were trying to create to sell it to us, to sell the TV rights to us. They will sell the merchandise to us, the tickets to us. So we definitely also have a say in it. So I was just happy that the fans just took the initiative and decided to go there and protest. And they sang their hearts out. And they even managed to even delay the game by 15 minutes. So and it was fantastic to see.
Yeah, gotta say, huge credit to Pelicek. I can't imagine, like, maybe he was sent out there by the board or whoever, but I gotta say, it's a pretty brave thing to go out to meet a protest. One man, that seems, it's quite a brave thing to do, I think. And the fact that he went out there, tried to reason with the fans, it hurt a little bit to see people calling him out and booing him, but especially after chanting Lampard's name, it's a little bit hypocritical because this man has also contributed hugely to Chelsea's success on and off the pitch, or on and off the pitch.
It's just I think he came out because fans love him and fans were never going to do anything to harm him, all right. But still, it was still a scary situation, and you have to understand. I think from what you said and from what I said also, we're very disappointed in seeing fans booing him and calling him names and stuff like that. But like in the last 72 hours, we've seen, like you and I on Twitter, we've seen people that we thought were cool and stuff like that. We've seen them argue on the issue and stuff like that. So like, I think it's just heightened tension. Like people who are like there are so many emotions out there, and people were angry about the ESL, which they should be. They should be angry. Like we all were angry about it. So I think after everything, everybody will cool down and realize that like we work together, solved an issue. We can be friends again and move on, and we can be friends with Chelsea fans. And then yesterday, I was seeing, like during the game, I think it was after the game, I was seeing Manchester United fans laughing at Chelsea because we drew against Brighton, and I was like, yes, this is what we want. We want to see this back. We don't want to see. I miss this. It's good for us to all to be united once again and then fight a common enemy, which is the ESL. But the ESL has been disbanded, so now back to our corners. It was nice to see.
Yeah, it's like to be able to actually care. Like I was really not looking. And there were many Chelsea fans on Twitter saying that they weren't going to watch the game. But then, as the rumours as we got close to kick off, and how Roman Abramovich pulled the plug on the project, and people
to be fair, like I wasn't. I didn't plan on. I planned on watching the game. Definitely, I was going to watch the game, the Chelsea game. I'll watch it no matter what. But I didn't plan on tweeting anything out regarding the game because I know everybody was tensed. I was tensed myself, so and I wasn't really into it that much. But I was definitely going to watch. But as for tweeting it, I wasn't. But when everything happened, everything solved, everything cooled down, and we all enjoyed it. Enjoyed the boring game.
Yeah. At least we got to care about a boring game, rather than have no interest in the result of an exciting one. Actually, no, to be fair, that's not... exciting games are good too. I have no idea what I just said there. But yeah, it was nice to be able to care.
You're right. Under the circumstances, like if the teams were still on it and they hadn't pulled out, like no matter how great that game would have been exciting, like I don't think Chelsea fans would have really much cared that much because it wouldn't mean anything in the end.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was great to be able to care, like to be emotionally invested and think that the top four race is still it's a thing still, and that we still have to perform well to get into the Champions League that we will be now participating in. So yeah, I mean, getting on to that and how I think there's been plans of how the Champions League is going to change in the next couple of years. I do kind of want to see similar level of not U-turn but change again on that front of how the Champions League reforms, because the idea of adding teams to the Champions League based off of their coefficients is ridiculous, and it's in a similar vein to the idea of promotion and relegation not mattering, because I mean, then again, yes, that you have the top four spaces still mean Champions League football. But if West Ham, for example, finish fifth and Man United finish sixth, West Ham would get Europa League football and Manchester United would get Champions League football, but all based on UEFA coefficient, which is just it smells of Super League. So yeah, I really want to see changes on that, and it's quite worrying to see where Champions League will go. And I hope there are good positive changes in that, don't you?
Yeah,
in the next couple of years.
Like you said, I mean, the coefficient thing is just ridiculous. Like, I know it's based on merit, and it's not the fact that, like, today I was having a conversation with somebody saying that it's the same as the Super League. It's not really the same as the Super League. The Super League, what the Super League was doing is that we are the big teams. Like, we've called ourselves the big teams because we bring in much revenue and all that. So we are going to close shop and create this thing and be in it. So no relegation, no consequences, and we're playing all the time, every season. But with the coefficient thing, it's like the rankings are based on past performances. So like your past participations, but by virtue of the fact that you've won a trophy, you've won a Champions League trophy or whatever it is, like there are a lot of things that go into it that makes teams like big or makes teams elite. But still, like, it's still ridiculous because you can't, it's not really, it's still going to, like, a lot of people didn't want the American kind of format to come into the into football. But if you guarantee spots for certain teams all the time, you're doing the exact same thing. So it's a bit ridiculous to make the top four fight meaningless now. Do you get it? Because certain teams who are higher in the rankings will feel like, okay, then we'll relax. There are certain games that we can use our best players. We will not use them. We'll save them for basically the Premier League might become like the early stages of the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, where they can put in youth players and stuff like that to be playing the Premier League, and then in the much more important competitions they can be using their main players, because they know that they are high up. So whatever it is, if they finish outside the top four, they'll still like qualify.
Yeah, there's no consequence essentially. To have that to have that backup is just a disgrace, really. And
so I think that should be looked at. That should be really very, very looked at. It should be, and the good thing about it is that if there's any reform or there's any meeting about it, it won't be just a group of clubs voting on the issue. It will be like a general thing. So whatever result comes from it, you know that okay, this is the voice of the teams involved. This is the voice of every team involved, or every team that voted were in favor of it. So in that way, you know that yes, the teams will agree to it. So when it's happening, it doesn't feel that wrong than people selecting it themselves and saying, okay, I deserve this, I should have this. You get what I mean?
Wait, could you repeat? I have the. I'm trying to get my head around it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that if like definitely if there's any reform to this coefficient thing, do you understand? If there's any change to it, it will happen based of votes. Like it will happen based on like teams coming together and voting either for it or against it or for a different method.
Yeah.
So whatever comes from it, we know that it's a general consensus. Like it's a unanimous decision that the teams wanted this to happen or the teams wanted that to happen. It's better than what the ESL were trying to propose and saying that we make our own decisions. We are entitled to this or we are entitled to that. So, I mean, whatever comes out from it, we know that it will be in the interest of the teams. It will be in the interest of the fans. So, I know that by 2024 it will be sorted out.
Yeah, I'd like to think so too. I think so too. It's not gonna. I think we've seen the power, particularly the fans, of over the past 24, 48 hours. When if something is truly wrong, then it deserves to get. There's capability to get it fixed, and there is room. Then again, there's 3 years until 2024, and it's still an early time to consider changes, and I really do hope that they just get rid of these things, of these attacks essentially on meritocracy. That's what they are, essentially, just giving promotions to teams that haven't earned them through the performance of the previous season is just a disgrace. And without that, then we have games like next week against West Ham. Smooth transition. Very smooth. I think if we hadn't have cared about the Super League, if Super League, was still on, I don't think we'd be pretty worried about top four anymore. But now we get to be very worried about top four. We get to be hella stressed about it now because we're playing against a West Ham team that are level with us on points, and it's just important. I mean, yes, they had an unfortunate result against Newcastle last week, but I mean, to be fair, Newcastle should have made it a bit more convincing. They really had to work for it against West Ham, despite West Ham going down to 10 men. But yeah, this game, I mean, I think we all know who the danger men are, and Lingardinho and Gerard Bowen, and I mean, at least Rice is, I mean, it's not a great thing, of course, but Rice is injured, and I think a couple of others, like Antonio as well, are out. But
yeah,
how are we feeling for that one? Do you think have we got it in the bag already, or we're going to have to work for it?
I mean, Lingard is in the form of his life. I don't know what medicine he has taken or what training he has undergone or whatever it is, but the guy can just he can't stop scoring goals at the moment. And yeah, like I was saying somebody the last time that if I were him, I wouldn't go back to Man United. What am I going to do at United? I would tell my agent or speak to my agent to try and force a move or force a deal with West Ham so that he can stay there, because it seems like he's regained his form again, and after not scoring for a very long time, he has regained his form again, and he's been amazing. So he's definitely going to be a threat to us, a very, very big worry to us, especially now that we don't seem to be able to score goals as frequently as we might want. So it will be difficult, and to be a very, very, like you said, a very, very important game. And so we need to, like, I think you've already said it, but we're on the same points with them, just goal difference. So whoever wins goes above the opponent. So it's a game that we have to win. And with games like this, I'm more confident with the boys because I feel like when the stakes are very, very high, especially under Tuchel, when the stakes are very high and it's a must-win game, most of the times we often get it done. But when the stakes are low, we are playing against a Brighton, we are playing against a West Brom, then we just capitulate and we just give up and just let them walk all over us. So with this, I'm very confident. Not so confident, but like I'm confident that we will get the game done, especially with considering the fact that whoever wins goes fourth, and then the loser drops to fifth. So, or even the loser can even drop further because probably if Tottenham wins or Liverpool wins, they might be able to go above whoever drops. So it's a difficult game and a very, very important game for us to win. If whoever loses might end the week at seventh position, which is way up.
Yeah.
So it's I mean it's the stakes are very, very high. I was saying the stakes are high, but now I'm saying the stakes are very, very, very high. So we have to win it, and I think we will. I think we will pull it off.
Yeah, people say, we have at Chelsea have a really difficult run-in, but I say the opposite. It's a really easy run-in. Don't you know? Big games are easy games. Yeah. We always raise our levels, and I think the main thing is if you look at all of our competitors in terms of who has the better, easier fixtures, West Ham definitely have the easiest run-in, maybe alongside Liverpool. So yeah, it's really important that West Ham drop as many points as possible, and yeah. What better chance than to get one over them now to dent their confidence, and we can send West Ham into seventh by the end of the week.
Yeah.
If we get the result, and as well, I mean, Leicester looking ahead of us, it's a real shame that we didn't get that win against Brighton because we would have gone to third if we did. But Leicester have lost their past two games, and I mean, they have an awful end of season run, just end of season fixture list, just like we do. To be fair, yeah. In their last four games, they play. Well, I misread that. Last three games in the Premier League, they play Man United away, Chelsea. Man United away, Chelsea away, and Tottenham at home. So you can count on them to either drop points or give points to us somehow.
They play Chelsea twice on the same day. Don't forget that.
Yes. Yes, we got to really be prepared, and that's why we're resting Kante and Kovacic, to make sure on the final day we can play them at, I think it's, to be fair, both of them are in London. Both the games are in London. It's just quite funny that the fixture for the Premier League hasn't been, of Chelsea versus Leicester, hasn't been updated yet. So both games are in London, so we can play them at 3:00 and then rotate around and play them at 5:30. And we'll be able to win both, easy peasy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's looking a bit ahead of ourselves. But against West Ham, yeah, it's just, we really can't afford to lose, and a win would be huge for the top four hopes at the end of the day. And as long as, with other teams playing each other the next couple of weeks, but West Ham having an easier fixture list, it really means that we've got to dent their hopes.
Yeah, we have to. We definitely have to. And Moyes, I don't know what Moyes is doing with the players, but they have been really, really good of late. Like you said, Newcastle really had to dig deep to get that win off them. And it looks like who scored the. I think I'm checking something. I want to check who.
Was it an Arsenal?
Yeah, Joe Willock.
It was Willock.
Yeah.
Look, yeah.
I saw a tweet saying that Joe Willock has done more in the top four race than any other player. Because
he's done more than Arsenal.
He's done more than Arsenal than anybody else. So I mean, you see, these kind of players, I don't know why they would even want to go back to their former teams if they are performing like this in other teams. For me, I would have stayed, but well, it's probably it's because they love the team and that's why they've been playing for a very long time. So it might be that. So we have to win this. We have to win this. That's all I'm going to say. We have to win it.
Yeah. It's the Jose Mourinho meme. I'm not putting any pressure on you to win, but we have to win. And yeah, it's pretty much true. And we'll hopefully we'll see a rested, or we'll see a fully fit Kante at least. But then again, we do have to keep one eye, as big as this game is, we have to keep one eye on the game against Real Madrid that's happening only 3 or 4 days after this.
Yeah.
So
that,
I mean,
like you said, that game has become more important than it was first, because I'm sure Perez would want to win the Champions League just to prove to everybody that he didn't completely lose, just to stick it to UEFA.
Yeah, that would be funny that if UEFA kick out Real Madrid just as the only team that are left as the only team left in the Super League and gets us to the final straight away.
Has Barcelona put out a statement yet? I don't think they have.
I don't think so. I think Real Madrid and Barcelona are the only two teams that have not put one out yet.
Yes.
So
probably they might be playing. I saw a tweet this morning that we'll have European Super Classico next season.
Yeah, because they're the only two in it.
They'll be playing week in, week out.
Every week. The best teams every week. Man, the Real Madrid game gets even huger now because we got on top of all the players, ex-Chelsea players coming back, it's also we've got to try and beat the team that's presided by the man that tried to ruin football. So we really do have to, I don't know, you've probably seen all the quotes have been coming.
One of the men who tried to ruin football. The Glazers
true. Very true. If you saw the quotes that came out of some of the things that Perez was saying a couple of days ago about changing football and making them, because of young people's attention spans, making the games shorter, and saying some stuff about 40% of young adults don't watch football, and it's just there's too many low quality games. It's just couldn't believe my eyes.
Yeah, he said something
2 days ago.
Something about 16 to 24-year-olds don't pay attention to football. They don't know anything about football or something like that. So I think he just took a dig at the youth, and who else is vocal on social media than the youth? So you don't really go after them. If you go after them, you will definitely get some backlash. I think his whole interview was just like it was a disaster. I think the clubs were listening to it and they're like, "What? We didn't sign up for this. This is not what we signed up for. You're saying different things that you didn't sell to us. So this is not what we signed up for." So I think even though the fans also pushed the teams to do what they did and pull out, I think after the interview, the teams had already started considering pulling out, especially Chelsea, because apparently Chelsea were the last to join.
Yeah, we were. So I bet after that, there's just all the backlash has just been unprecedented, and the reasoning behind it, just I could not be able to get behind that in any state of mind. Just removing that aspect of it's basically elitism on this on a huge scale, and being selective with the clubs in your competition, and at the end of the day with Chelsea, we don't necessarily need them. We don't need a huge amount of extra money at the end of the day, and even if we did, to do it at the cost of killing the meritocracy of football, it's not even worth thinking about, is it?
Yeah, I think a friend of mine shared on one of the a page down in the depths of the 12 teams that were part of the ESL, and Chelsea was at the bottom. I think Man United were on top. together with, I think, Real Madrid or Man United, Tottenham, I think Barcelona, Real Madrid trickling down. But I think Chelsea was last. And then I am on top of us were City. So we didn't really need it. I think City and Chelsea didn't really need it. But like all of them were saying, they didn't want to get left behind. I don't know what they thought was in front, but they didn't want to get left behind.
Yeah. It's understand, like to some extent, at the end of the day, you can never predict fully the backlash of when you do these things, and yeah, it was still an awful lapse of judgment, I think, from all the clubs, including our own, including from our Chelsea board. Still a huge error in judgment, and I do expect, I do kind of hope there is some punishment, at least for the clubs. I'm really not sure how you could go about doing that, but there needs to be something in place to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again and that these people have learned their lessons. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, I think I was discussing that with Jam earlier today. Well, what punishment? I think he put out a tweet with a poll about the punishment and stuff like that. I think right now either they are fined or probably they are banned from attending certain club PL UCL meetings. They are banned from those things for some time, or fined some huge amounts, because if you deduct points, if you like the other options that he posted out were deducting points and then relegation. I think that those two. They're deducting more than 15 points, deducting less than 15 points in the relegation. And these three things not only affects the club, but it affects the fans and affects the players who had nothing to do with the ESL. So that kind of punishment will go against the fans as well, will go against the players. But if you fine them or you leave them out of certain important decisions made, they will feel the punishment more than when you deduct points or whatever it is.
Agreed. Yeah, it's really tricky because you don't want to punish the players, do you? Yeah. But the only thing I can see is either a transfer ban or perhaps monetary fines, or I think transfer bans would probably be the best. Thinking objectively, but. Last time we had a transfer ban, it worked out great for us. So
I was about to mention that the transfer ban will be a blessing in disguise for all the teams instead.
Yeah. Give us some more of that. We want some more of that transfer ban. So, but yeah. I think we pretty much covered. Unless you want to talk a bit more on the ESL or perhaps. Yeah.
No, I think we've covered.
Then there's not much else.
Covered a lot.
Yeah, we really have. When you only have two of us as well, it's you get through a lot more as well. And I'll take this time to say we miss you, Mohammed. Please come back soon. We thought you'd come through halfway through, but he'll be back next time, I'm sure. He's a busy man. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up for everything we've got to talk about in this one. Hopefully, next time you hear from both of us, we'll be hopefully talking about I was about to say historic, but more like crucial, important win against West Ham to really start to solidify our grip on top four. But yeah, other than that, I'd like to say, I think the big thank you firstly to Amart for coming on. It's still kind of late for him too, 10 o'clock to record, so always appreciate him coming on. And thank you for watching as well. If you've got to this point in this video and you haven't liked to subscribe, I'd urge you to do so. It just kind of shows some of the appreciation for the amount of work that goes into making these. And we're going to be here for the long run. We really want to, we were very consistent up until about last month or the month before, but we're definitely on the road back to getting to that level of consistency again, making podcasts every couple of days. And I'm really looking forward to see where this podcast takes us. So until the next one, have a good week and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.